Very special guest, Leslie Nielsen, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you, yeah.
You're in Australia now. You don't need your jacket.
Oh, I don't?
No.
Oh, well, all right. That's the way it is. My airplane tickets are in there. Oh. What's that? Let's see.
What's here?
They're okay.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Everything's all right.
Yeah.
You've been to Australia. You first came here in 1972. You fell in love with us, didn't you?
I certainly did. And, you know, I don't care where you travel. I don't care what country that you go to. No matter how beautiful it is or what the geography is or the architecture, I don't care. For me, anyway, when I go back to a place, it's because I've really enjoyed myself with the people. And I love coming back to Australia. You guys are great.
You can give him a round of applause if you like. I think he's trying to be nice to us at the movie.
You know, I think something initially, I'm born in Canada, and I spent my life close to the Arctic Circle. But I'm a country boy, and Canada is a pioneer country, and so is Australia. And there's a kind of a kinship, a bond, that is simply part of meeting when you know you're from similar backgrounds like that, pioneer countries. So that bond I felt when I came to Australia for the first time.
Well, we're glad to have you back. I mean, but are there countries that you don't like? There are people you don't like where you don't go back?
Well, yeah. Yeah, but for many different reasons, I suppose. But, I was in Thailand recently, and I think it was really because I was insecure, because you definitely don't speak the language. And they definitely don't speak your language either. So, it's really, I'm remiss about that. But you feel very insecure about not having that kind of communication and having to find somebody who's going to... You can't ask anybody where you are, and you get lost quite easily, you understand?
And would
nobody
make
can
talk
tell
shows.
you where to go.
That's right. Talk shows would be very difficult as well.
Very tough, yes, indeed.
We're going to talk about the new movie in just a tick, but I want to take you back to the early days in acting, because you started, of course, as a serious actor.
Indeed, yes.
How did it, where the transition? Where did it start?
Well, I've always had comedy and done comedy behind the camera, I always had a lot of fun, but I never had the courage. I was a closet comedian. But then when we finally did Airplane, and Jerry and David Zucker saw me, and Jim Abrams, they spotted me for what I was, a closet comedian, and they kept on then knocking on the door and say, "Come on, Leslie, you come on out. We know what you're up to." And
you had to come out of the closet.
And I had researched, even behind the camera, but now I'll do anything for a laugh.
Is that you, Jeff?
What kind of a show is this? I think we'll have to put you all under arrest. We can't have any of this going on in a public show like this, right?
I think that was a real one.
Me. Yes?
That, you fell in love... Your dad was a Mountie. Your dad was a...
Right, yeah.
Did you ever think, I want to be just like Dad. I want to be just like Pa?
It, really never crossed my mind. My older brother, he went in, he became a cop, and then he left. And my middle brother stayed in the Permanent Air Force after the war. So they both stayed in a kind of a uniform milieu. But I never really had any... I know now why I never became a Mountie. Because they wore those boots up to here. Well, yeah, but they don't look good on bow legs. You look kind of funny. I think that's why I never became a Mountie.
So toilet humor, that's the one you love.
I beg your pardon?
Toilet humor?
Yeah.
Toilet humor.
Got any good jokes?
Why is it toilet humor?
Which is toilet?
Is it because toilet humor... I'm just waiting for the hand to move here. We know it's... Yes.
Well, you can't jump the gun. You've got to be very careful about jumping the gun, you understand. Yes, toilet humor is there's a place for everything. And sometimes not necessarily in the toilet.
You like this, I mean, you like this normally. I mean, out of the Frank Drebin character, at a dinner party, you'd like that? Are people expecting you to be funny all the time?
I don't know whether they expect
make those
me to
noises?
be funny, but I don't go anywhere to have a bad time. And I don't care where it is. And believe me, I have had fun even, believe it or not, even in the White House. It was in the basement, of course. Weren't too many people listening, but there's no place that's sacrosanct and nobody, who is sacrosanct. And so I don't care who it is. I just have a good time. Prince Renier, we had a great time on the golf course.
With those noises.
Yeah, with the noises. Well,
Yeah.
it's really funny because sometimes people say, "Hey, Leslie, you know, really, I mean, the joke is over. We've seen it, you know. I mean, you're going to keep that around all the time." But I find people, most often the phrase is, "I haven't laughed so hard in 25 years." And that's why nobody can ever dissuade me from my brand of toilet humor.
Not a bad reference, is it? What about your favourite lines over the years? Because there have been some marvellous delivery, some sensational lines in the Naked Gun series particularly. Any stick out in your mind?
You mean about "Don't Call Me Shirley"?
Yes, yes.
I don't use the name anymore since I've thrown away my pumps. But I love, I love the lines that Peter Graves had, you know. You ever seen a grown man cry? Ever been in a Turkish prison? Ever see a gladiator, son? You know, those are wonderful lines.
They're part of culture now, aren't they? I mean, they're used all over the place.
They are. They're people who have spent time and can play the actual, like a full scene from Naked Gun. Guys
All right.
in college and so on. Yeah.
Talking about Naked Gun 33 and a third, it's out now. If you haven't seen it, I strongly suggest that you go and have a look. Here is a little tiny bit in the meanwhile.
Have you seen my pigeon?
Pigeon? What pigeon?
What are you doing?
I'm just contemplating my next move.
Your bishop is exposed.
It's these pants. I usually wear a fuller cut.
You're all men. I like that in my men.
You're coming on to me big time, sister. You're praying like a kitten with a fresh mouse, but we got a problem.
We're Jewish?
No. You're Rocco's girl. And in my book, that chapter is called Look But Don't Touch.
I could have two lovers.
Kinky. But I like my sex the way I play basketball. One-on-one and with as little dribbling as possible.
That would, of course, be Anna Nicole Smith, is that right?
Yes, they refer to Anna as a full-bodied woman. And she really, but and she was really great to work with. She's from down home in Texas. She's really a country girl at heart, and she has a wonderful sense of humor. And then there she is. She's such a striking, she's about 6 feet tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
All woman.
All woman,
And
yes.
Raquel Welch in there as well. You've got some big
Welch.
big names in there.
And Pia Zadora.
Yes, of
And,
course.
of course, Priscilla.
Of course. I mean, how do you approach Raquel about doing an act like this, getting in on a show like this?
Well, yeah, I find that there's so many people and so many of my peers who ask me, "Hey, Leslie, is there a walk-on or something I can do, just going across the background or whatever it might be?" And just to be on the show because we're so dumb and we're so stupid. That's how I describe the pictures.
Dumb and
They're so
stupid.
dumb and stupid, they're wonderful. That they really look forward to being on and being associated with the humor, with the fun. So nobody has to get their arms twisted at all, you know.
Now, the promotion coming up to this movie was a sensation. Certainly the poster caught me, and I was queuing up outside the cinema before it opened in the morning. Take a look at the poster. If you haven't seen it, you'll know what we're talking about. There it is. The things you do for your roles. I mean,
I was just a little older, but I needed the money. Really.
the wonderful body of Demi Moore, of course.
We're not sure.
No, we don't know.
I think that was my body. I think it belonged to me. The pictures don't lie.
All right. So all the trouble you went to just for that poster, fantastic.
It's really so imaginative. I think that's a great bit of advertising, and
Yes.
it's just wonderful. A lot of people, it caused kind of a furor in the sense that when I would be traveling around, people would often come up to me and have the poster already mounted on a kind of a cardboard for me to autograph. And I thought, that's great. They have them framed and put them in the office or whatever.
And they ask you, how's the baby?
Yeah, the baby's just fine, thank you. Yeah.
What about inspiration for the Naked Gun things?
What do you mean?
Police Squad. We have to talk about Police Squad,
Yeah.
the series.
Of course, the inspiration came from, we did Police Squad and went off the air because it was really in the wrong medium. And then finally, after three, what's on? Is this on?
Yes.
Is that on
We'll
now?
take a look. This is
This
one of the
coming
opening
up?
scenes.
Oh,
Dyslexia for cure found. I thought that was a great headline there.
was that on?
This is one of the scenes, and Frank Drebin, being Frank Drebin, here he's in jail too. He goes undercover for this one, right?
Undercover, yes. We had Rocco.
You can still get a laugh out of the movies. I mean, these have been
Yeah.
production for, I mean, years now, and you can still look at those and think, hey, that's really funny.
I love going back and watching the work of the Naked Guns, and there are still things in it that make me laugh a great deal. But that happens with a lot of people too.
Yeah.
There's something we noticed that when we were rehearsing the first Naked Gun. You go through, and the people who the stagehands, grips, and so on, they would laugh. Then the second time we do it, and they'd laugh, and the third time they would laugh, and the fourth time. And we realized that there seemed to be something going on here, that just the dumb looks were funny. And because, you know, once you hear a joke and it's over, then you don't laugh a second time that much.
Right.
So there seemed to be something about the humor that was working. There's something very affectionate about the humor.
It's kind of contagious.
Yeah, it's just dumb and stupid, and it's not sadistic or cruel or mean-spirited. It's sort of like affectionate, really.
Just kind of dumb and stupid, really.
Dumb
I
and
guess.
stupid, that's it. That's the name
Now,
of the
Leslie,
game.
if you would be so kind, I want to try something with you here. I want to give you a topic. I'd like you to respond quickly with a couple of lines, if that's all right.
Yes.
I want to ask you firstly about women's lib. Your thoughts?
Women's lib. That makes me think of, I don't know whether it was Bush or who it was. They asked him about that, and it was women's movement.
Yes, yes.
He said he was all for it from the waist down. I believe that was his answer. Yeah.
What about your good friends Hillary and Bill Clinton?
Hillary and Bill Clinton?
Yes.
They are making their next appearance, I think, on the Flintstones.
Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan.
I think it's time, you know, I'd rather... Your skating has become a very, very expensive operation today. I think we should start to go more for cheapskates, okay? Just leave them alone.
I'm sort of worried about this one, but what are your thoughts on wind?
Wind?
Wind.
Wind? Well, it's very good to stand in the bow of a ship and face the wind. And you can turn around and the wind can be behind. Actually, when you're facing the wind in the bow of a ship, it's like life. Life is like a dog sled team. Unless you're the lead dog, the scenery is always the same.
I'm glad I asked. And finally, your thoughts on commercial breaks.
On commercial breaks?
Yes.
Give me a break.
Give me a break. Leslie Nielsen, Naked Gun 33 1/3. It is on around the country right now. You have to go and see it. Please thank Leslie Nielsen.